Hi and welcome to Element Z3. Albert Namatjira. Albert Namatjira, 1902 to 1959. Albert Namatjira is considered to be one of Australia's best known Aboriginal artists. He was known for his watercolour landscape paintings of his country, which he made in a Western style rather than using traditional techniques. Namatjira's paintings are featured in many of the country's most important art galleries. Born Elea Namatjira on 28th July 1902 in Arrernte country in Hermannsburg, Ntaria, in Central Australia, Elea was renamed Albert after his baptism at the Hermannsburg Lutheran mission. On Namatjira's 13th birthday, he began his rite of passage into manhood. Namatjira returned to the land, where he was taught about traditional laws and customs by his elders. His love and deep respect for the bush and desert landscape grew during this time. He would later paint these landscapes and significant cultural sites of the Arrernte people. At 18, Namatjira married his wife Rubina, who was from the wrong skin group. This was against cultural law. For this, in 1928, Namatjira was banished for several years and worked as a camel driver across Central Australia. A talent arises. In 1934, Namatjira met two artists from Melbourne who were visiting Hermannsburg. They exposed him to Western style painting. A couple of years later, Namatjira volunteered to show one of these painters, Rex Batterby, some good locations on country to paint. In exchange, Batterby taught him how to paint. This is when Namatjira's gift for painting was discovered. He held his first art exhibition in 1938, where his paintings sold out. Following the exhibition's success, Namatjira had others in Adelaide and Sydney through the 1950s. Success and changing history. Despite his youth success, Namatjira returned home often to get away from the busy towns. With the money Namatjira had earned from his success, he wanted to lease a cattle station. However, he had no rights to lease land because he was Aboriginal. He then tried to build a house in Alice Springs but was prevented by laws forbidding him by owning land due to his cultural background. Namatjira had become a well-known, respected and skilled artist, and many people owned prints of his paintings. When word got about Namatjira's difficulties, there was public outrage. In 1957, Namatjira and his wife were the first Indigenous Australians to be granted Australian citizenship. This allowed Namatjira to vote, enter a hotel, buy alcohol, and build a house. It was a significant event as Aboriginal peoples had very few rights then. It took the government another 10 years to grant all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples the same rights. Did you know? It is estimated that Namatjira painted around 2,000 paintings. He is now widely regarded as one of the greatest Australian artists ever. Namatjira influenced the wider Australian community to think about the injustices experienced by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. He fiercely advocated to improve the rights and lives of his people. Namatjira was also the inspiration for the Hermannsburg School of Painting, which encouraged other Aboriginal peoples to paint. A sad ending. With his new citizenship rights, Namatjira could buy alcohol like other Australians. However, because others in his community did not have the same rights, when he brought alcohol into his community and a man took it, he broke the law. In 1958, police arrested him, charging him with supplying alcohol to prohibited people. He denied the charges, taking the case to the Supreme Court and High Court. However, his appeals were unsuccessful and he was sentenced to jail for 6 months, but was released after two for medical and humanitarian reasons. In 1958, police arrested him, charging him with supplying alcohol to prohibited people. He denied the charges, taking the case to the Supreme Court and High Court. However, his appeals were However, his appeals were unsuccessful and he was sentenced to jail for 6 months, but was released after two for medical and humanitarian reasons. The effects of being jailed took its toll and Namatjira became very unhappy. He suffered a heart attack while at home with Rubina and was taken to Alice Springs Hospital. During his time in the hospital, his old friend Barbie visited. Namatjira surprised him with 3 landscape paintings he had produced, promising more to come. Sadly, on 8th August 1959, this promise was never realized as Namatjira died from heart disease complicated by pneumonia. He was just 57 years old. Question time. What was the name given to Albert Namatjira when he was born? Which Aboriginal nation is Namatjira from? What important tradition took place after Namatjira's 13th birthday? How many paintings was Namatjira estimated to have completed? What happened when Namatjira tried to release a cattle station? What happened when Namatjira tried to build a house for his family? What significant event happened in 1957? What year were other Indigenous Australians granted the same citizenship rights as Namatjira? What rights were afforded to Indigenous peoples after they gained Australian citizenship? Describe how you would feel if you didn't have the same rights as the next person to buy things you needed, build a house, or own a land. So, those questions were for beginners, intermediate questions. Let me leave you with these questions for the intermediate. These are still a set of intermediate questions. You may definitely try to solve as per your challenge zone you would like to. These are advanced level. These are advanced level questions. You may definitely try to solve them as you keep challenging yourself. It's good to do that. Last set of questions for the advanced questions. Let me leave you with the answer. So these are the answers for the basic first set of questions that we saw. Okay. And you may definitely cross-check for punctuation, capitalization, every details, if in case it's a complete answer given. These are the answers for the intermediate question, set of questions that I gave after basic. Finally, this is for the advanced set of questions. Till then, don't forget to give a big thumbs up and a like with the subscribe, so that whenever, if in case we have the new videos coming up, you'll get an update, and accordingly you will get more knowledge and more information. Till then, thank you and take care.